I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming, it's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to Chris Wyatt Reports. It's Indaba Conversation with Chris, and I'm going to warn you right now. You're going to get a PK. I'm going to move somebody if we get some nasty stuff in the chat. I know some of y'all little troublemakers out there. Don't be harassing this young lady. We don't want to undermine her confidence. But my guest today, and this is the coldest interview I've ever done. I've not had a chance to chat with her. don't even know if I pronounce her name correctly. I mean, I look at her surname. It looks like Lebanese. I have no idea. So we're going to ask. All right. So Ziané Saayman, how close is that?
It's quite close. I actually get that very often, but it's pronounced Ziané Saayman.
Ziané Saayman. The Saayman was correct. Okay, Ziané. So
yeah.
Okay. So is the Saayman? Is it Dutch? Is it Lebanese? Did you know?
It kind of originates between either Dutch and then somewhere Khoisan.
Okay.
Because that's the backgrounds of my father and my mother.
Okay. All right. Cool beans. So, all right. Listen. So you don't know much about me, and I don't know much about you other than your social media presence. And I haven't been on TikTok in a few weeks, and apparently you've got a following on there. And Instagram, I rarely go on. So most of my social media time is spent here on the PooTube, as we affectionately call it. But I saw you have a small presence in here as well. The reason I wanted to reach out to you is that I like to promote Afrikaans music and Afrikaans artists. I've interviewed Steve Hofmeyer, Monty Jackson, Giselle, and a host of other people, Donnie van der Westhuizen, and a lot of people. So your song popped up on my feed the other day. Now, I don't know if it's coincidence, but I have a lot of new viewers. My channel's basically doubled in size after 4 years of doing this, just almost overnight, because of this refugee thing with the U.S. And all these people are asking me questions about South Africa, and they start talking to me in Afrikaans, and I have to explain, ek praat nie Afrikaans nie, maar ek verstaan, you know. So anyway, so I do understand. I just can't speak it. I don't spend enough time out there on the farm. But they're always asking, so Chris, do you like pop? No, it's disgusting. Do you eat Cook Sisters? No, it's too sweet, even though I have a sweet tooth. Do you eat braaibroodjies? Yes, you eat braaibroodjies. And then your video popped up like the next day. I got asked it like 40 times. Okay, so from what I can see, it looks like you're doing some social media presence. I don't know if you've recorded other songs, but this one really jumped out there. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Ziané.
So I only recently matriculated last year, and then I got into the music industry and content creation. And I first built on content creation and then went into the music. And when I started with the music, it was all very new to me. And we didn't know what to expect or what to do or where we headed, really. And the song that I wrote, called Die braaibroodjie reël, was actually only written as a joke. And then we uploaded it or released it just to see what would happen. And it actually went a lot better than we expected it would. So that's me now.
Okay, so if I saw correctly, you're from the Western Cape, is that correct? That's why I've got the Goed Constantia backdrop behind myself there.
I see that.
Yeah, I did a documentary on a couple years ago when I got back after the COVID lockdown. Yeah, so you're from the Western Cape, okay, and you did it kind of as a lark, it sounds like. But it's catching on, though. It's pretty catchy. I mean, you know, I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's kind of funny. You know, of course, people. You know, the video talks about, you know, what you're supposed to put in braaibroodjies, and you know, and you see the three boat back there trying to make their braaibroodjies in a contest. That's pretty funny. A couple epic failures there. I see that. Although when the English lyrics are translated, it translates in an open mouth kiss. I think we say French kissing in English. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, what's it like? I mean, this is kind of like some sort of instant success, is it not?
Yeah, it is. And it was quite overwhelming at first because it went from 0 to 100 real quick. And yeah, it's just been very interesting because I'm not used to this. And yeah, all of a sudden, I'm now recognized in the most random places. And to me, I still feel like me.
Well, tell me about it. Listen, I come back to South Africa, and I'm not South African, obviously, but everywhere I go, people recognize me. It's kind of weird. It really is. Now, I mean, I've got a couple more days under my odometer. I got a few more kilometers traveled than you do, just a few, not many. But so I have a bit more life experience. So maybe I'm better equipped to handle it. But it sounds like you're doing okay so far. The newfound fame hasn't rushed to your head yet.
Not yet, and I really hope it won't.
All right. Well, somebody said people in the Netherlands love your song. Apparently it's made it to the Netherlands. I guess that's the power of social media. The whole world can watch. I mean, here's an American listening to braaibroodjies. I like Afrikaans pop music, which gets a lot of people angry with me because they prefer the old traditional Afrikaans music. But I'm sorry, I listen to everything. I listen to hip hop, but I love Afrikaans pop music. And even some of the odder stuff. Like I listen to Snotkop. I don't tell people that, but I do. So. But anyway, well, I mean, it's always like Delicious are pretty funny, but not so much on Boerenpumpie. He Enriquez, that's a little cheeky. That song is a little too cheeky for me. So, I mean, did you sing at choir or something, or did you just go on a lark? Because I'm going to tell you what, I can't sing and you don't want me to, trust me.
When I was in primary school, I joined a choir, but only for about 3 years. Mm-hmm. Then I didn't really have the time for it anymore, so I stopped with that. And then I started taking music as a subject from grade 8 on. And when I hit grade 10, I started doing singing lessons or vocal coaching again. And that's how I really started enjoying singing again. And that's why I also decided to actually go into that industry.
So do you have a favorite type of braaibroodjie? Is there one that you like? I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't eat onions. If you put onions in my braaibroodjie, I'm walking away.
I actually genuinely don't like onions in my braaibroodjie, but the ones that I do make for everyone at home consist of chutney, mayonnaise, onions, tomato, and then cheese. And it sounds horrible.
It sounds awful.
It's amazing.
It sounds awful. Oh my goodness. Look, I just don't like onions. People know that I don't like onions. I consider an onion a poor chef's excuse for covering up their bad cooking. It's a flavoring particle. Anyway, but seriously. Yeah. So listen, I'm curious if you don't mind me asking, because we talked about the surname and you mentioned Khoisan origin. Or you consider yourself colored South African, or is that just part of your heritage as an Afrikaner, or are you an Afrikaner, or are you a Boerenmeisie? Because people know we always want to talk to Boerenmeisie.
So I actually just consider myself Afrikaans. It's just some heritage background that we found out a few years ago. Because my mom's heritage and background is a combination, and so is my dad's, and then they joined, and that was a big combination. And yeah, so I actually don't know what I am. I'm just
you are South African.
That is all I am right now. Yeah.
There you go. That's brilliant. I love it. No, I ask because I'm a genealogist and I do family history. And of course, the history of the Western Cape is very intertwined with folks, very complicated. And so one of the people that I really love, and one of my favorite songs in Afrikaans is from Tyron Lamb, Vier Woorde. That is song. Oh my goodness. I just love that song. That's brilliant. I also like the video too. It is a little weird dancing on the road that goes to nowhere, but it's okay.
Yeah. She's amazing.
Do you have anybody that's inspiration for you, an artist that really gets your fire going, that you'd like, I don't know, maybe emulate, or that gets you motivated?
I'd absolutely say Demi Lee Moore.
Ah, really? Steve's friend. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I get that. She has an amazing voice. People, they really like her. I find her interesting, but it's, I'm more interested in Franny du Plessis when it comes to that. I like her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's
she also got this very hip hop style, and
she's also got kind of a strong kind of accent that flows in there,
and that husk voice.
Yeah, that's right. The husk voice. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Stad te Verlangen. That's a great song too. That's
Yeah.
You were probably in nappies when that came out. It's a few years ago. It's a few years old.
It's quite a few years.
Exactly. I said maybe in nappies. I'm sorry, don't mean to embarrass you like that. But okay, so have you done interviews already? I mean, am I late in the game, or am I one of the first to get to you?
I have done a few interviews. I've done a few phone call interviews. I've done some in-person radio interviews. So it's not many. I'd say it's quite early still. I wouldn't say you believe.
Okay, I just want to make sure you don't forget us when you become big and famous. You know, when Kurt Darren's got you up there doing a Kalfoot Soki at Kruna, then I want you to remember who we were.
Absolutely.
So what's next? Are you writing other songs? Because it says you're a singer-songwriter.
I am currently busy with the next release. This will be releasing in April the 18th, and it's called Wat jy aan my doen. Then after that, I have a few songs written or a few ideas in mind that I'm working on. The one after Wat jy aan my doen will be Op die Plaas. So that's just going to give some family history on the farm, since we have a few families on the farms. And that song's going to be very special to me. And then the projects I'm working on, some of them include some old lyrics that I wrote in high school that I'm busy tweaking and just updating. And one I'm very interested or excited to work on is a Dutch and Afrikaans song. So...
Well, what exactly does that mean? Are you mixing Dutch and Afrikaans lyrics, or is it a story of the Netherlands and South Africa? What do you mean by that?
So parts of the song are going to be sang in Afrikaans, and other parts of the song will be sung in Dutch.
Okay, so that begs the question. Do you know Dutch, or is someone helping with that? Don't tell me you're using Google Translate, because I'll pass out. You're using Google Translate.
I really have no other resources at this stage, but I'm trying to reach out, and I would love it if I could get some Dutch artist or someone that sings Dutch to collaborate with me on this. If not, then it's me and Google Translate, eh?
Okay, well, I guessed correctly there. See, that's why I'm an analyst. but so we do have a number of people who watch my program who live in the Netherlands. A few of them are Dutch. Some are South African Afrikaners. If any of them can reach out to me, it might be able to help out. Then I'll put you in touch with her if you'd like that, and maybe help her with the lyrics there. We want to make sure she doesn't make a mistake and say a word in Dutch that where it turns out to be a very bad thing you're not supposed to say. We wouldn't want that.
No.
All right, so this has got to be exciting for you. Okay, are you a solo artist? Because the dudes didn't sing; they were just kind of props in the video. Were they just props?
Sure, I don't want to say that they were just props. They're friends too, but
they're
for
friends.
The video, they're just props.
Okay, but they're friends of yours.
Yes.
All right, okay. All right, just checking on that because I noticed none of them sang. So, it's...
Yeah, no, at the moment, I'm a solo artist. But in the future, I'd like to maybe not duet necessarily, but I would definitely like to have a band of my own.
Well, that'd be interesting. So you just have the one song recorded now. Is that correct? There isn't any more, are there?
Except for the one that is releasing on the 18th. That's finished, just not released yet.
Okay, so you still have one. We haven't heard it, so you've got one. Okay. All right. So you got a second one coming out in April. All right. So then I guess the next question is pretty obvious. You haven't been performing anywhere at clubs or anything like that yet.
Not yet, no.
Okay.
But there are a few things maybe lined up. We just need confirmation on some of the events.
Well, that's fantastic. You could probably sing some cover songs as you build your repertoire there and get more in your stable of songs. That's pretty cool. Do you have any particular? You mentioned Demi Lee Moore. Do you have any particular genre of music that really gets you? I mean, obviously it's just kind of a pop song, but I mean, Elvis Presley, who as a kid I actually met. I went to Graceland as a kid and knew Elvis when I was probably about 4 or 5 years old, 4 years old. But Elvis Presley was very talented. He sang gospel, he sang country, he sang rock and roll. He has a lot of different interests. And the reason I mention this is a friend of mine is Monty Jackson. Monty is the most informed musical subject matter expert in South Africa that I know. And every time I sit down with Monty, I learn so much about music that I never even had any idea about. We always have good conversations because he's a huge Elvis fan too. But what I'm getting at is that everybody has a genre that drives them. Some people perform, a lot of pop artists perform pop music because that's what makes money for them. They have a career, but they really prefer gospel or they prefer, singing in the choir or they like jazz or something like that. What about yourself? I mean, is pop your thing or are you going to be a hip hop artist?
I generally actually enjoy country. That is probably like the best ever. And then after that, I would say pop, and I'm kind of getting into rock a little bit.
Okay.
And then I also enjoy gospel quite a bit.
Okay,
But I
that's
keep
cool.
that for in church because I used to be part of the church band as well. I forgot to mention that.
Well, you did say something about choir for a little bit, but I got the impression that was in school, not at church. So I
Yeah,
sang.
no, that was in
I,
church.
I sang in the choir when I was in church as a kid, and then puberty hit, and my voice didn't make the transition. It was great before puberty. It was high, and then it came back down, and it didn't quite get to. I didn't quite get to the Joe Black. Whoop, what is whoop? I can't quite do that. But yeah, so you like country? That's not a surprise coming from a South African gal. I mean, they love country over there. It's country music is very popular. Do you have any favorite country music artist?
I haven't really thought about that yet, but the country song that I'm enjoying at the moment is Double Wide by Gabriella. I can't recall her surname right now, but sure, that song really gets me going.
Whoever's in your room there, we can hear him in the background there. Tell him to be quiet. No, just teasing. They can come. Or you can come on camera. Just teasing there. Anyway, but seriously, no. So that's interesting. I'm not a big country music fan. There's a few artists I like, but my mother was into country music, but it was the old country music, that Patsy Cline, that twangy stuff, and ooh, that stuff just doesn't do it for me. But I mean, I can listen to some country music artists, but South Africans really love country music. They really, really do. So that's interesting to hear. So the braaibroodjie thing. I mean, it was a lark. It was kind of a joke, but it's interesting. Did it just come to you one day, or like were you did somebody drop a braaibroodjie on the ground and they picked it up in the 3-second rule so they could still eat it before it was dirty, or what happened? How did you come up with the lyrics for braaibroodjie? Because it's hilarious.
So I don't know if this trend made it to the US or not, but there was this trend going around on TikTok about a girl and a guy that were on an illegal interview or chat with each other. And they got onto a conversation and she started off saying, I can cook, but I can't make pasta from scratch, braaibroodjies. And then they talk about braaibroodjies a bit. And then I used that audio and it did very well on my TikTok. And then I started a series on braaibroodjies explaining how to make one and what the braaibroodjie rule is and so on. And when it came to writing the song, we decided, well, the theme should be braaibroodjies since it's booming on the internet right now. And there's a rule in our house that if you can make a nice braaibroodjie, that you get a French kiss. This does not mean my dad and I or my mom and I and my brother and I, we kiss each other. Let's just clear that out. But you make the braaibroodjie for someone and then that someone kisses you. If that is how that relationship works.
Okay.
So it's not for anyone.
All right, I'll try your braaibroodjies, but I don't want the COVID, so I'm going to pass on that. That's how we spread COVID, with the braaibroodjie kiss. Oh my goodness. So did you have a favorite? Look a little away from music for a few moments. Did you have a favorite subject in school when you were doing matric? Or did you hate school?
I really did not enjoy school in the slightest.
I knew it.
Like at all. It was just not for me.
Okay.
But I did enjoy economics. I never did great, but I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. And probably tourism.
Okay.
That was quite.
That's interesting.
Geography was my ultimate favorite.
Say again?
Geography.
Oh, I love this. I love geography. That's great to hear. So what did you like about geography? Because, there's obviously map geography and physical geography, but there's also cultural geography. Was that something you're interested in as well?
I took geography because I was very interested in getting my PPL. A PPL is a private pilot license, and that was ultimately the dream originally. And then I changed schools, so I changed subjects, and then geography kind of fell away. But I was very interested in learning how the winds and the clouds and the temperature drops all affect the weather, because I would need to keep all of those things in mind if I were ever to fly one day. And I also enjoyed the map work because I can see where I'm heading. So it's easy for me to argue certain points while I'm working on it.
Okay, well, I can understand that. A lot of people really enjoy flying. It's a huge thing here in the States. A lot of people have private planes. A little challenging to get into, but once you're into it, it's pretty cool. There's a TikToker and a YouTube a female pilot here in the States who flies her plane all over. She's a real great inspiration. I haven't seen her in a bit because I have a love-hate relationship with TikTok. Every now and then TikTok loves me and then it doesn't love me, so I just abandon it. It's like a lover that just lets you down. I don't know how your TikTok's going, but I mean, I went from 300 followers on TikTok to 10,000 in like 3 weeks a few years ago, and I was getting like 500,000 views on my videos, and then the same content, they weren't showing it because I said something about China, and suddenly they wouldn't show my content anymore. And so I've been stuck at exactly 12,700 TikTok followers for almost 20 months, no matter what I do on TikTok. So I know it's bogus. So I can't sing. So and I don't do OnlyFans. So I'm gonna have to come up with another angle for TikTok. What's your TikTok experience like?
Well, I was on TikTok since primary school, so it's always been a thing for me. And then I remember hitting about 1,000 followers or 10,000 followers in COVID. And then when I finally actually really got into content creation to do it full time, it just kept booming. There was a stage where I think I grew with about 1,000 followers a day for a few days, which was pretty insane. But it's a full-time thing for me now. So I kind of have to love it whether I want to or not.
So this begs the question, you talked about your parents. Obviously your parents are around. Not everyone is fortunate in that case, so I'm glad to hear they're around. What do they think? Are your parents like, what is wrong with you? Or are they like really encouraging you? Or have they sought psychological counseling for your career choice?
At first, they weren't very into it or all for it. They thought it was a waste of time, which is understandable. I think just participating in trends doesn't really benefit anyone as much. But when I recently got back into it and they saw my content and they kept following it and they were engaging with it, and so they seem to enjoy my content, which is great for me. And now they completely support me with it.
Well, that's good to hear that they support you, but also it's even better to hear they engage. So that's good to hear that your parents are conversant on their mobile phones and know how to engage on TikTok. That isn't not everyone over the age of 30 is actually able to do. So, we talked a little bit about music, talked about school, which you didn't like, got support from your family. I don't want to break anybody's hearts here, but I think I saw on your social media that you have a boyfriend. If that's so my viewership's going to drop by 70% now, unfortunately, as I mentioned that, but I hope we're not embarrassed. I hope we're not embarrassing you or your boyfriend.
No, luckily not.
And of course, the next question is going to be people going to say, well, is he the one she kisses in the video?
Yes, it is.
Oh, nailed it first time. All right, so you're going to have to keep that relationship going, or you won't be able to have him in your videos in the future. I'm just warning you ahead of time, okay?
This is a forever relationship. There's no in or out here. It's almost set in stone.
All right, okay, you heard it today, March 13th, 2025. In 2045, we're going to sit down and talk to her and see where we're at. When she's famous and she's performing, she's doing mashups with Yan Yan Yan, doing videos with Yan Yan Yan. So do you have any hobbies? I mean, do you like to travel? Do you like to go out to the bush? I mean, we didn't really get into what your family does, and I don't want to intrude if that's not something you want to share. But, of course, a lot of my viewers are rural viewers and people on farms and stuff like that. And a lot of the people like the outdoors. I don't know. Do you like to go to clubs? Do you like to go to the beach? I mean, I'm not a beach person. I'm really pale. I had strawberry blonde hair before it went this color, and I burned like a lobster in the sun. And besides, it's not you're skinny and I was skinny too. I mean, that's not a bad thing or good thing. I'm saying, but I was very skinny and I was always embarrassed to go to the beach. I mean, wearing, so I'm not a beach person. Put me in the mountains. So what kind of hobbies do you have? What are you interested in?
I like a variety of things. I used to enjoy doing sports in school. That was considered a hobby for me at the time. At the moment, the content creation and the singing are hobbies too, and not just a career choice. Then I would like to travel. That's always been something I planned on doing. And hopefully, with the career that I've chosen now, I'll be able to do that. And then, sure, there's a lot of things I enjoy, but now I can't think of all of them. Enjoy going to the beach. I love being outdoors. I do like going out, not necessarily clubbing, but I do enjoy music festivals. That's definitely one of my favorite things.
Well, that's pretty cool. Well, I enjoy music festivals too. I don't get them very often. And the last concert I went to was a Focus Policier concert in Pretoria with Francois van Kolk, and that was off the hook. I mean, yeah. I had never gone to one of their concerts, and I went because I went as a journalist, and I had set up an interview with Francois van Kolk back in Belleville, so in Boston. So we sat down and had a conversation. But before that, I was up in Pretoria, and we couldn't. The timing wouldn't work. So I went to his concert, and at his concert, people were recognizing me. I'm walking around, they're going, "Hey, it's a Colonel!" I'm like, at a Focus Policier concert, people were recognizing me. I wasn't expecting that. Including one of the guys who's a band member, a backup guitarist when they need a guy, so he's outside selling their merch. So I bought a shirt and hung out anyway. But it was just off the hook. It was amazing. This young lady that had Downs was in front of me in the row, and she was loving the show, freaking out, enjoying it. It was incredible. Intense energy. I love that sort of thing. Now, I went to a concert that wasn't quite as exciting, but it was still a fantastic event at Velbedocht a couple years ago, and Steve Hofmeyer was there, and he was up on stage, and I was recording it, and he starts speaking in Afrikaans, basically saying, "We have a friend here tonight of Afrikaners and of the Boer and of South Africa. He's an American." And I'm like, I think he's talking about me. I'm doing the translation in my head of the Afrikaans, and he goes, "Yeah, come on up here, Colonel Chris Wyatt. We need to see what a soldier looks like." And he calls me up on stage. He puts his arm around my shoulder in COVID danger close, like this close, like Demi Lee Moore close, when he sang to her, that close. Yeah, and I'm a little uncomfortable. You can see me on the video kind of leaning away from Steve like this. Yeah, exactly. You got it. You know how it is. And then Steve says, he played the Ballad of the Green Beret. He goes, "You know the words?" I'm like, "Yeah. Let's sing it." I'm like, "Steve, I can't sing." And he made me sing with him on stage in front of 8,000 people. Oh, that's an experience.
That must have been an amazing experience. Wow.
It was. And then I put it on YouTube and I got a copyright strike for doing a cover song.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It was me singing and I got a copyright strike for that song. Anyway, but we did put it on Twitter later on. So, but I like the music festivals too. In fact, Cape Town has a jazz festival coming up on the 25th and 26th of April, if I'm not mistaken, right after your song comes out. So, where are you going to release that? All the social media, or have you? Okay, I mean, are you a contracted artist now? Like, I can never get to Juanita Duplessis because she's too big. She's got a contract.
I am actually signed with a record label under Universal. So I think that makes me a contracted artist. But yeah, that's
Oh, that's pretty okay. So well, no, that's good to hear. But at least I got in before your agents got to you. Said you can't do interviews. Make sure they give you 10,000 rand or something like that.
Sure. No, I must say the record that I'm signed with actually really encourages you to do as many interviews as you can and to reach as many people as you can. So I'm enjoying that. Yeah, it's nice.
Okay, cool beans. All right, so it's the social media thing has really changed things. I mean, when I was a kid, there was no such thing. There were no mobile phones except for rich billionaires with these huge things that were like the size of an army radio. Exactly. Box. Yeah, a big box, Yeah, like a boom box. That's how big these phones were back in the day. And the batteries lasted for like 2.5 hours and then went dead. And you had to pay like 1,000 rand for a 2-minute phone call or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, back in the day. But so none of that existed when I was a kid. But we did have computers. It wasn't quite the abacuses. We weren't doing that. We were using computers back then. But the whole landscape has really changed. And people, are they calling you? You getting the hook? What's going on over there?
Sorry, I just want to... Sorry, I just had to. I think they forgot about our meeting a bit.
Yeah, that's okay. It's okay. Look, it's like when people photobomb, they walk into your video or something like that. As long as they don't walk into their shorts, that's always a distraction. You know, we don't need to see that. Little too much.
I've had that happen.
A little too much if that happens. But yeah, no. So as I was saying, these things didn't exist. I mean, do you find, because you grew up with social media, you were using it in primary school, do you find it to be a fantastic tool for you to reach out and connect with people?
I think it has its benefits. I really think it's great for communication, keeping in touch with people, getting educated, and reaching people within like a short limit of time and almost immediately. So I think it definitely has its perks. But on the other hand, I also think there are some things about the media that are very unbeneficial. And unfortunately, I've like experienced some of the bad things about the internet. So I'm not 100% for it, but I'm also not against it. It's like it's a love-hate relationship I've got with the internet or any social media accounts or platforms. So it's a 50-50. Some days it's good, some days it's not.
Well, it sounds am I pronouncing Ziané? Is that how you pronounce it? You said it in the beginning. Ziané. It sounds like you're grounded. I'm very encouraged to hear this for someone. I dare I say a tender age. I'm starting to feel old now when I say that, but at a tender age, you're very grounded. I mean, the internet is a tool. You're very welcome. It's a tool. That's all it is. And it can be very beneficial. It can also be very detrimental. It sounds like you recognize that. Now, one of my viewers said, please get her booking info. I can book her here at my resort at the Valdam. So, okay. So I've got your contact. I'll share it with that gentleman. If that's okay, if you like, I'll share it. Okay, so I'll do that. I mean, if you want to go up to the Gauteng area, I mean, that's on you. Now, actually,
it's a travel experience.
There you go. You want to travel? Just don't drive through the Karoo. That's not an experience. That's long. You know, I was looking because I'm considering my next trip to go back to Uppington, and I figured, I don't want to fly. And then I looked, and even from Fellowdrift in the Western Cape, it's still 7 hours now. I think I'll fly. I'll fly.
I think it might actually be safer to fly.
Oh yeah, it is.
No one's bank accounts are enjoying it, but it is definitely safer.
Oh, that's no doubt about it. Plus, you don't have to worry about breaking down in the middle of nowhere and then things happening. So, yeah. But I mean, you know, back in the day, a long drive like that through the Karoo might be interesting if you like to look at sheep and desolate countryside. But yeah. So no. But yeah. So that would be travel to go up to the Val Dam. I was actually on the Val River my last trip to South Africa when I came for the elections last year. And boy, those lilies are out of control. That river is so nasty. It's really gotten out of control. Neither here nor there. But anyway, it's great that you have an interest in geography. You want to travel. But if you had thought about traveling overseas, not just in South Africa?
I have always had like a little list in the back of my mind about places that I'd really love to travel because I have family or friends there. And some of these places are Australia, New Zealand, Canada, the UK. And because I'm currently 60% of my viewers are from the Netherlands, I would love to go to the Netherlands too.
Well, I'm disappointed there. You didn't mention America. You talk about country music and you never mentioned America. You're dead to me. We're not going to be talking no more after this, young lady.
I had geography very long ago, but isn't Canada like somewhere in America?
Oh, it's Northern America. No, it's that's the big dispute now between Donald Trump and the Canadians. He's acting like it's part of America. Yeah, it's just north of America to take your joke seriously. Well, the Netherlands, I think you'll find fantastic. I've been there many, many times. I actually have ancestors from there myself. My ancestors come from Middelburg, which is an island on the mouth of the Rhine River down by the North Sea. And it was bombed by the Nazis in World War II. I've been there. I didn't know I had ancestors from there when I was actually there. I found out after the fact doing my genealogy. And I have ancestors from Ameland, which is one of the islands at the north of the Zuider Zee, where Frisians live, which is a different ethnic group there, not Dutch. So yeah, but my ancestry from the Netherlands goes back to the founding of New Amsterdam, which we know today as New York.
Sure.
Yeah, yep. So pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, so it's quite a while ago, but yeah. So genealogy is a fascinating thing. I think that if you get into that at some point, I'm not trying to encourage you, given your interest, you'll probably find it fascinating, particularly with your family's background. It should be very interesting to discover all that stuff. All right, so all right, now we get on to the esoteric stuff. People are always asking me, what beard oil do you use? I don't use beard oil. By the way, my beard used to be down to my navel during lockdown. I grew it. It was a protest. You should have seen. I look homeless. Or they kept calling me Cous de la Rey too. So I mean, because I had this long beard. But anyway, so yeah. But so what hair product do you? No, do you use Tresemme?
Yeah. I've been on so many shampoos and conditioners. I've even tried that rosemary water stuff.
Yeah.
It's been growing for a few years now.
Okay.
I've always made my hair Chinese bob, so that's shaved at the back and then it comes down long up until the cheek. So it's always been short. And I think I started really growing it out since about grade 5. So it's been 7-8 years now that it's just been growing.
All right, cool beans. Well, it's great for the wind. It blows, especially in the videos. It'll look really good when you do the videos. So, I mean, let me ask you this question, just a generic question. The video that you did for braaibroodjies, did you make that before you had a contract or did you get a contract first? And I mean, I'm just curious because the cinematography looks pretty good. I mean, if you did it on a mobile phone, I'm really impressed, but you can't see my phone there because of the green screen. But if I mean, that was really well done. I mean, I have to compliment you or whoever's recording that and editing. It's pretty well done.
May I introduce the person that recorded it?
Absolutely. Oh gosh, is it her boyfriend? We're all going to be so embarrassed now. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. All right, hearts are breaking here. There he is.
So my boyfriend is into videography. He studied film and editing while he was in school. And so he helped me shoot my music video, and that is why it looks so good. Thank you to Blazy.
Oh, Blazy's his name. Okay, all right, there we go. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
All right, cool.
And we were signed with the label before the release. He worked with Dodo Nayoka. I don't know if you know or heard of him. He's also a South African Afrikaans artist. He's an upcoming artist though, so he's still new in the game, but he's doing amazing. And my boyfriend then worked with him for a few months. I think it was about 6 months last year, and picked up a lot about the music industry. And when he came back, he helped me get into the industry. And because he built contacts while he was there, he had the contact number of someone from the label that I signed with. And so usually things are almost on your own when you first sign, but the label's been really supportive. And it's been amazing. But for now, everything is like independent, I almost want to say. So I've been signed before the release and before the shooting and everything.
All right. So I'm going to make an offer. You don't have to respond, okay? On my next trip to South Africa, I'm happy to come by and do a little interview with you and maybe do some filming, and maybe you can incorporate that, or we can incorporate that in a documentary. I've lost touch with my filmmaker in the Western Cape, who has gone to ground doing something else. He's a very good filmmaker. So maybe we'll use your boyfriend if we can.
He's in.
All right, he's in. It's a done deal. I don't know.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it would really be great if I'm able to get there before you release a song, and we could like do something about your song coming out and release it. So that would be really cool, especially given the way listen, I was wrong. I mean, I thought all these dudes would leave because you got a boyfriend, but they're not concerned about the competition. They're still hanging around here. So anyway, all right. So that sounds like a plan. We've got a plan on that. So look, I'm really looking forward to your next release, and the reason I got to say something here, okay, Ziané. Okay, so when I played the braaibroodjie song, okay, I've got some old toppies that watch my program, okay, so when I played the braaibroodjie song, they're like, no, stop it, it's terrible. They were being funny, and I'm like, if you come on my chat when this young lady's on here, I'm gonna PK you when I come to. You just gonna moor you, man. You're gonna get one, just right upside the head. So I had to warn my audience, and I must say they've been very well behaved. Very well behaved. Anyway, listen, I'm going to wrap up here in just a couple minutes, and I want to thank you for your time. It's Baya Donkey. It's been very kind of you. I've enjoyed the conversation. It was nice meeting your boyfriend, however briefly, and signing into an unpaid contract for future film work. That was nice. It's okay. Look. It's my pleasure. I mean, look, I can pay him in dollars. He'll probably like that. It's better than the rand right now.
That sounds good.
It sounds good. Anyway, listen, I always do this to my guests. I give them a chance, but a lot of my guests are on talking about politics or agriculture. I mean, I'm sure that you don't want to talk about macadamia nuts. Trust me, that's not that exciting. But I always give my guests a chance to say whatever they like at the end, and I always ask, hopefully they've got a positive message. And for the people talking politics, that's not easy. But in your case, I think you probably got something wonderful and positive to say. So I'm going to give you the floor now, and you just take a few moments and share whatever you like. If you want to tell people where to find your music. And then what I'm going to do is after you go off air, I'm going to play your song and get the copyright claim, and then I'll remove it after the video because they've already protected your song. So when I play it, we get a copyright claim. But anyway, so Ziané, the floor is yours just to speak to the audience.
Thank you. So I just first want to say thanks again for having this interview with me. It's really been great, and I've really enjoyed it. And then to anyone that is planning on becoming either an upcoming content creator or music artist, I just want to say you need to mentally prepare for this. It's not something to just easily walk into. And if you're going to walk into it, don't be blind to it. Some people on the internet can be nasty, but it would be great and really count in your favor if you know who you are as a person and keep reminding yourself about that. That's going to get you through it very easily. And then for all my supporters, I would just really like to say thank you guys for all your support the last bit. It's been absolutely amazing. And the feedback I've been getting from you all has also just been as amazing. So I just want to thank you all for that.
Well, that's brilliant. Very excellent to hear that. Listen, my audience just came up with a great idea. You don't have to respond to this, but when I come to South Africa, I do meet and greets. And so I meet with my audience, and in Pretoria, we had 60 people at it, and then the restaurant was full on top of that. And I've had them as little as one person at Fontaine. So sometimes they're small. But someone's, yeah, well, I mean, 5 people said they're going to show. None of them did. And then someone I ran into who recognized me off the 3 people in Fontaine recognized me. Fontaine, it's the middle of nowhere, Anyway,
I know. That's what I thought. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. So no, but I actually had a guy show up because I ran into him. So his mother was at the package store, and I'm getting stuff out of my car parked across the street from the lodge where I was staying in Fontaine. It's middle afternoon, and I hear someone speaking Afrikaans, and I get the impression they're talking to me, but my back is turned. So I turn around, and she's still speaking Afrikaans. It's obvious she's talking to me, and I said, "Ik praat nie Afrikaans nie." She goes, "Oh, no, that's right. You speak English." So she said, "Oh, my son watches you. He knows you." I said, "Oh, really? Where's he at?" "He's in the car."
Wow.
I said, "He's in the car? He didn't help you in the store?" "No." I said, "Let's go embarrass him." So we went over to embarrass him. We went over to the car, and he gets out of the car, and I want to give him a hard time because he lets his mother do all the lifting, carrying the stuff from the store. And he's bigger than me. The guy's he's like a prop from the Springboks. He's huge. And of course, his name was Jock. So, I mean, I really can't embarrass a guy that's twice my size whose name is Jock. But anyway, so that was Fontaine. So
I hate to say this, but I think his name said it all.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know anybody outside of Australia was allowed to be named Jock. I'm just saying.
Sorry, and I forgot to mention, if anyone wants to reach out or make bookings, the email that can do that at is, sorry, let me just check that email quick.
Yeah, don't send it to the wrong place.
I'm forgetting that email, all these emails, is bookings.ziané.music@gmail.com.
There you go, guys. There you go. All right. So the idea from one of my audience, again, not to put you on the spot here with the meet and greets. So typically in the Western Cape, I do meet and greets in Somerset West, at the Strand, and the other direction at Blaubergstrand, and I always do one at Woodbridge Island. And people are suggesting that I invite you to one of them and maybe have you sing at it. Just so, yeah. Okay.
Can I do cover songs?
You can do cover songs, but you must do braaibroodjies or we won't accept the gig.
Okay.
All right. There you have it, folks. There you have it. All right. Cool beans. All right, so Ziané, it's a real pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. Unfortunately, we do have to wrap up because I have Major General Bantu Holomisa, Member of Parliament, next. So you're in good company today. So thanks a lot. Greetings to your boyfriend. I got to be nice to him because I need him to make movies for me. So I don't think the rest of the audience is going to be nice to your boyfriend, but that's another story. That's their issue. Anyway, thanks a lot. You guys have a lovely day, and it's Thursday, so enjoy the weekend. It's Navik time.
Thank you. You too.
All right, so I'll let you drop off, and then I'll wrap up, and I'm going to play your videos for those who don't know braaibroodjies, okay?
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Oh, shoot. How do I put this on?
I'll take care of you, so don't get yourself embarrassed there. I'll put you out. Okay, so you're going in the waiting room now. Bye-bye. All right, folks, that was Ziané from in her song braaibroodjie is pretty cool. Let me go look that up. I wasn't ready to do this, so I hope you enjoy the song. We're going to play it. And, okay, what's going on with YouTube? It's very slow here. I hope you enjoyed that conversation. I know I enjoyed it. Oh, what is going on with YouTube? It's unbelievably slow. I don't need YouTube to behave this way at this time. Wow. Let me just try it with another browser. Wow. No, it's not my connection. It's YouTube. So let's see. They just don't want to behave themselves all of a sudden. No, it's YouTube. YouTube is slow. Okay, here we go. I wonder if they're getting a denial of service attack too. There it is, the braaibroodjie song. Okay, folks, General Bantu Holomisa will be up here shortly. So here is...
Worried mom's new boyfriend.
We don't need mom's new boyfriend advert. So we're going to wrap it up with this. This is Ziané Saayman, and this is the braaibroodjie song. I hope you like this. Feel free to leave a comment behind, and I appreciate her time coming on here. So here you go, folks. Here's the braaibroodjie song. I hope you enjoy it. It was done as a lark, but it's catching on. A lot of people are liking it, so I hope you enjoy it as well. Cheers, everybody, and we'll see you shortly.
Fast fiber-based internet from Breezeline is the reliable choice for your local business.
Braaibroodjies, no onions, folks, no onions, just saying. No onions. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that. Be sure to hit the like button, and my thanks to my guest, Ziané Saayman. That was Leka, Leka, Leka. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks a lot. We'll be back with Major General Bantu Holomisa in about 8 minutes right here on the program. Cheers, everybody, and thanks for being here. Always a pleasure.